teacher, Rabbi Elim Dumuzu, Asian African Chinese people. We have to look at that. Life spirit of Amen came. Hamiti, Hebrew ethics. It's time to rebuild. Join us today and subscribe. Many descendants of original Africans survived the Mongol invasion into the 20th century, only to be exterminated by Chairman Mao's program of cultural cleansing. We know that in 1921, Mao, he became a founder member of the Chinese Communist Party and set up a branch in Yunnan. He was inspired by the Russian communism, and started his ruthless acts. He killed over 45 million people in 4 years. Who were these people that he killed? Why did he become so ruthless and so evil? We know that the Rothschilds controlled Mao with funding and organized by Israel Epstein, who was also a chief propagandist, and he wrote Mao's little red book, which had a doctrine that we will show you, which was so evil. We see here an image of Chairman Mao, who was a student at Dean at Yale, China. Several of initial US ambassadors to China were Yale, Skull and Bones, and also Cross members. George Bush Sr. was one of them. I have given you the website where you can find this. Now, here is what David Rockefeller said. He said, whatever the price of the Chinese Revolution, it has obviously succeeded not only in producing more efficient and dedicated administration, but also in fostering a high moral and community of purpose. The social experiment in China under Chairman Mao's leadership is one of the most important and successful in human history, with the killing of millions and millions of people. This is what David Rockefeller is saying. So when you look at China and when you see its flag and when you see the 5-pointed star, we know who controls it. You see, in 1935, China established gun control, and then from 1948 to 1952, 20 million political dissidents were unable to defend themselves and were rounded up and exterminated, as you can see in those images. Let us look at scientific proof about the Chinese. Who are the Chinese, and why were they so killed and so destroyed, and why was there a program funded by the global bankers in China? We will find that there is a very salient and very subtle conspiracy here. In 2005, a Chinese DNA specialist, Jin Li, proved through DNA tests that indeed the first inhabitants of China were black Africans. Dr. Jin Li has a BS and MS from Fudan University. He studied in 1985 and 1987 respectively. Then read for his PhD in biomedical sciences with a specialization in genetics at Houston Health Science Center of University of Texas in 1994. Between 1994 and 1996, he had a postdoctoral training at Stanford University. In 1997, he was engaged by the School of Life Sciences of Fudan University as a part-time professor, and in 2005 he returned to China and became a full-time professor of the School of Life Sciences, and from 2003 to 2008 he served as the Dean of the School of Life Sciences. So we are dealing here with a highly educated person. We see here there is also this proof that we are giving here that shows that African origin of modern humans in East Asia, a tale of 12,000 Y chromosomes. You can read there and you can find this, that about 12,127 male individuals from 163 populations and type of 3 Y chromosome were tested and proved that they originated about 35,000, between 35,000 and 89,000 years from Africa. And therefore, we ask the question, why do we have this opinion that the modern Chinese are original? We see here the origins of their slanted eye. You look here to the left, you find this is a Khoisan woman. Look at her facial features and look at the facial features of this Chinese poster, and look at the minister of in the president's office in Namibia. These are Africans. These two are Africans. They are still there. They have got slanted eyes. They are Bantus, full Bantus, and they gave birth to China. We want to also show that the self-description of Chinese early inhabitants is self-evident. You see here, Xinyu is an ancient capital city that rose in late Shang dynasty, a time of prosperity of the Chinese Bronze Age around the 17th century before Common Era. You can look this from Life Beyond Tourism .org. See, this is a Chinese. Look at his ears. Look at his nose. Look at his dual-sephatic head. Jaws. Look even at these queen soldiers, the terracottas. So there is no point of arguing this fact that all Chinese rulers had negroid features. Renowned author and Professor Chang Hing Sing Lang noted that distinctly negroid features are clearly seen on early artifacts and sculptures of early Chinese rulers. You look and you see them here. This is on your left there is the Shang, a reign of Wending in 1100 BC. And you see on the right here, he is a ruler, an ancient ruler. He is all the African features. So our question and our desire is to know and understand, where did we get the modern Chinese? You see here, this is the modern Chinese. You see here around 221 BCE, you see the original soldiers. You can see that this is a negroid, this is a negroid, this is a negroid. All these are negroid. But you see, 1,000 years later, now the hue has changed. What happened? Again, there is a conspiracy that runs too deep. Since the Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, and South Asians have all been scientifically proven to be Africans, why is it that this strain is absent in over 2 billion souls today? Who are the oldest race on the earth? Look at them. These are the oldest. These are the Chinese and the original sample and original Chinese. We know that there is a Mulatto and Albino or a group, the Mongoloids of Northeast Asia, who are committed to hiding their negroid original ancestry for their own reasons and their mental perception. Hence, their ceaseless battle is to use all weapons at their disposal to eradicate this negroid aspect. You can see here, this is our source problem, the Mongoloid that dwell in Mongolia. These are the ones that are fighting tooth and claw to eradicate the Africoid aspects in Russia. You can see this is out of Africa route, where we can see that Webuye, Kenya, and Loito, Kitok, or Tanganyika, which we want to give is Tanganyika, and the people migrated from there, migrated from also Chad, the Chadian Basin, and Yoruba, Ibadan, Nigeria, Songhai there. All these people migrated via the Bab Mandal Pass and went into Gujarat in India, Ahmedabad, and they moved all across and populated China, and also proceeded to populate the Japanese and also the Philippines and all the Melanesians that we have discussed before. And these are the descended original ancestors who moved out into this land. We also want to look at the African origins of Kung Fu. We showcase here how to use your body parts or weapons to defend yourself. So when you think of China, you always think of Kung Fu. But when you look at this is an ancient Egyptian pictographs of origins of Kung Fu and all the martial arts. You can see them and look at them, and this is the almost 1921 picture from Somalia of the origins and the practices of Kung Fu. So it's an African art. The conspiracy runs deep. Early humans in China did not originate from the Mongoloid type humans currently inhabiting that area. These began to appear until quite recent. But here is the devil. The devil is in the definitions. We know that modern Chinese or Mongols are bound to hide their African origins. Here is some more proof that something is fishy here. Why the cover up? So if you go to this website, www.realhistory.com, you find that there are images there of the transition from carbon or from the black hue to the pink or mongoloid. The albino and Mongol mulatto people have created an incredible array of lies to cover up the blackness of Asian Chinese. You can see this is there is a lacquer here, and there's the painting that has been done there. These lies naturally centered around the Qing dynasty warriors because they are our only accurate depiction of what the Chinese people looked like over 2,000 years ago. Once it came out that the warriors were originally painted in lifelike colors in order to explain away the black faces on some, and many of them, they used the pink colors and also introduced a trick that there was a chemical change of the paint that was used before. The mulatto mongoloid interbred with the various black tribes and gained a stable degree of pigmentation, which had removed the carbon or melanin completely. Proof of this admixture is in the fact that whites and Mongols or Chinese, modern Chinese, both share the same founding white DNA. The further proof is in the Tarim mummies. You can also visit that same site, which are a series of mummies dating from 1800 BCE discovered in Tarim Basin in present-day Khoisan province, which is one of the Chinese border of Central Asia in northwest China. You can see they are here a pure Mongoloid. So the oldest mummies are white people, but later at about 1100 BCE they become mixed race. You can read this again on the same website. Now what happened there is that there was the creation of the mulatto and the pure mulatto who moved from India out of the Dravidian group and transformed and changed to become the parent of the pure white who resides there today. Now we want to look at the one of the phenomena that we know from China. This is known as the Boxer Rebellion. You see here, these are the, you can see that the people that are engaged in the Boxer Rebellion are the original black people, and they are persecuted in China. This is the black people being persecuted in China and being destroyed because of that Mongoloid, those Mongoloid races that came and dominated China. And we see here, these are the masters. You see there, these are the masters on horses, and these are the people leading the Boxers to be killed and to be beheaded. And you see at the bottom there, they are the ones that have been beheaded, the original black people, the genocide of that area. Where did we go wrong? You see, this is the image of a black Chinese with a Bactrian camels packing supplies in Peking, Beijing today, along the Great Wall in 1932. This is an African. You see, this is an African boy. These are also Africans. This is the Queen Imperial Army Cadets at Tenzin. These are Africans. These are where we get those terracottas. Where did we go wrong? Now, thank you very much for listening to this. We went wrong because we failed to realize that the racial purity drives a subtle racist ideology in modern China. It is the cause how Mao destroyed and killed millions, and that continued today. It is clear. Negroid. This is the Negroid proof, and this is where we say that the Chinese, the Japanese, Koreans and South Asians have all been scientifically proved to be of African origins. Now, the mulatto and albino Mongoloids of Northeast Asia are committed to hiding this part of their history. So spread this message, let the whole world know about this, that the ancient Chinese were pure Africans, originated in Africa, came out of the Khoisan, came out of the Xhosa, came out of the Bantus, and migrated, as we have shown, to China, tamed that continent, made that continent habitable, built all the artifacts, built all the Chinese war, and today The reason why it has been funded is because a social experiment, as we have already indicated, as has already been said by David Rockefeller, there is a global social experiment to remove and neutralize the Africoid race. This is why you can look at that and see that whatever the price of the Chinese revolution, it has obviously succeeded not only in producing more efficient and dedicated administration, but also in fostering high morale and community of purpose. The social experiment in China under Chairman Mao's leadership is one of the most important and successful in human history because it is destructive. It removes the black people, it removes the original indigenous people from their lands by liquidating them and committing a genocide, justified genocide. This we cannot accept.